Hey guys, my name is Nibiri and it's time for another kicking of the week. And I got a question on how to make Klaplong kicks from artists like Sick Mode. So let's give a go at that. So to save some time, I'm gonna use a punch from my pack and it's gonna be punch 5. And punch 5 sounds like this. And it sounds nice, but I want to tweak it a little bit so we get a more unique sound. So let's pitch this down a little bit and maybe pogo it. This way it just changes up the drive a little bit of the punch and just the feeling in general of that punch. So let's give that a mixer channel. And now that we put that in the mixer channel, we're gonna make a till in Serum. So the thing is, there's multiple ways to approach such kicks, of course. And I just like to make my kicks in Serum, as you probably know by now. So I'm just gonna stick with Serum and the main thing, in my opinion, on these Klaplong kicks is there should be some emphasis on that movement in the kick. So halfway during the kick over here, you want some really aggressive and jumpy movement, and that's what's gonna make that Klaplong kick really have some more drive and really make it a Klaplong kick, where normal hardstyle kicks are mainly just one full layer of sub and one full layer of motion. You kind of want to create a nice movement for your Klaplong kicks. So let's put this at, I think an A will do. Let's see what fits with our punch. I think G will work better. And let's make sure that it doesn't play while our punch is playing. So we give it a little bit of an automation. So yeah, we mainly want to make this part move and then we're going to glue it together with the punch. I'm just going to put some distortion on the oscillators that I turned up and see how they sound. Let's just put it to 0 square. And just listen to how this sounds. Okay, and what kind of movement can we get out of these, out of this wavetable? That's really important. I think this can really work. Yeah, it's just going to be a lot of work in the LFO part, so we can make this wavetable move in the right way, so we can really create that Klaplong vibe, you know? So I'm just gonna put this in a mixer channel and balance it out a little bit with the punch, just to make the tutorial a little bit more balanced. And then I'm gonna work on that movement. Yeah, something like this. And now let's see what we can do. Let's see first of all where that right spot is for the crunch of that second half of the till. Okay, so I'm thinking it's somewhere over here. So let's put on our automation. And this automation is gonna move a little bit to over there. And then in the second half, I want to open it up further. So it opens up in that direction. And let's see if the phasing just changes it a little bit. Okay, now let's cut it up a tiny bit more so we get some emphasis on that second crunch. Just to make sure that this movement is working. Okay, let's filter this and see if we can really create a little bit better of a movement for our punch, or for our tilt, sorry. Sounds nice, but a little bit too dirty, perhaps. Okay, this sounds nice. This even better. See, it's just a little bit of making that character of your crunch move in the right way. That's the main thing on Klaplong Kicks, to really create that drive. Let's make a little emphasis on that resonance over here, so we make this move the gain a little bit. And maybe we can use a second filter to maybe get some normal or a little bit more in phase low end in this still again. Let's see what happens if we maybe choose my favorite LN12. We do kind of clean it up with this, so let's just tweak this preset or tweak the filter a little bit more and see where we end up with. I was playing around a little bit with this hyper dimension and I actually think I like it if I put it on there. So let's just keep it on there, maybe gives it a little bit of a unique touch. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give this till just a clean export without this movement of the automation, so we can do that automation movement afterwards. Let's just export this. And get this in there, and now we can really place this at the right point for the punch, so it really fits together quite nicely. Normalize this, put this in a mixer channel, and let's give this an automation clip. And let's loop this so we're sure that everything fits. So I think this is really the spot where it fits with the punch and it creates a nice drive. And now the main thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make this still more fat, probably adding a low warm layer again. We're gonna finish up the punch and we're gonna make sure that this part over here, the punch transitions nicely to the tail. So that are things that we're gonna do right now. So let's open up another Serum for that warm layer. Putting this one to a G as well. And putting this to something, I don't know. Maybe putting a noise over here. Low cutting this with the noise outside of it. And just giving this a tiny bit of distortion. And now we're gonna make this move so that it moves in the second part as well. So probably gonna do something like this. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, maybe make the wavetable move as well. Now this can work. If you put the random down, then we can work on a sample. Yeah, this is working. Let's just export this. And normalize this and put this underneath the tail that we got and see if they really work together. Give this a little automation as well. Well, we can probably make this follow that one. So let's link to controller and link it to this automation over here. And now see if we can make this fit together. I think this is the best spot till now. Okay, let's emphasize a little bit of that body on this crunch. I feel it's lacking a tiny bit. It's like lacking a bit of warmth from over here. Just gonna dip this a little bit, maybe pull this up. And maybe pull up the low end a little bit more. Okay, let's see how much lows we got, because I can't really hear that properly right now. Okay, a little bit too much lows, but I think that when we distort this together, so we're gonna route this to a bus and distort this even further. So let's open up Disto effects and just see if we can really make this tail crunch nicely. Maybe we can even make this tail more characteristic with having this distortion on here. So we won't layer this underneath there, we'll just use this as a layer. is a little bit better. Now let's put an EQ in front of this. Okay. Now this is quite a fat tail already, and if we export this, you can really see that. It's nice and distorted, and it has some nice movement in there. So what we've done now with this extra distortion, we've really created a new and more cleaned up character for our kick, for the tail. So we're gonna export this. And yeah, this is just a little bit too crunchy now, maybe moves a little bit too much. And we're just gonna put an extra low layer underneath here to just keep that low end clean and add a little bit more warmth again. And after that, I think the tail is finished, and then we can move on to the punch. So like this. And now we're gonna add this little extra low layer from Serum. Put this to assign, put this to anything. Pull down the random. And I think we can use this one. And let's just low cut this or low pass this and put a little distortion on here. And make this maybe move a tiny bit. So something like this. Export this. Put this to here. Give this a little bit of automation clip on the volume. So we can really make this move with our tail. Normalize it and let's layer it in here. See if we have the right facing, almost. Yeah, I think this will work. Now boosting a little bit of that mids again. And we're gonna dip a little bit of these highs. It's a little bit too crunchy in the really high end. And we're just gonna bust these. So we can, if we want, maybe add some effects on here. And this extra sub just starts carrying our tail better. So let's see how this loops. The flow in this kick is really nice, and now we're gonna end up by finishing our punch. So let's get a club kick in here. I think this one can work. That's a lucky first pick. And it's okay that this punch or this club kick is a little bit longer because we need to fill up the space anyway. So it's fine that this club kick is going to be used in whole, where normally with the kicks you'd maybe cut it off a little bit like this. So just fill up that space in between. Make sure that it fits the punch as well, of course. And I like these kicks when they have a little bit more louder club kick under there. And I'm just gonna pull down on all these volumes, make sure that it's balanced, and then I want to hear what's really still left to be done. Maybe if we pogo this a little bit. Okay, yeah, this makes a nice click in our punch. Let's route these two together. And see what happens when we just give this one a little bit more room over here. I don't think that will do much because if you look at this, of course you need to listen to it as well. But if you look at this, the facings here are quite opposite. So I don't think this will really benefit for this punch. Let's just see what we can do when we distort this just a tiny bit with a distortion, for example. Sounds nice. And let's put some reverb over this, because that reverb is just going to help make the movement of this kick feel more like a Klaplong kick. It's just gonna sound more huge as well. And if you wonder what kind of reverb settings I just use my normal settings for my track. So it's on low cut over here, and I use 7-second decay. And then because you have such a huge decay, you can really choose from the spot which amount of highs you want in your reverb. So I like the way to do my reverb like this. And I think this amount of highs will work. Put this in a mixer channel as well. And of course we're gonna make this move with an automation clip. Just a main part about Klaplong kicks is just that they are really moving with the reverb and with the tail. You just need to have a sick drive in your kick. Let's see what we can do like this. Maybe we should shorten it up here and make it come up over there. Let's just see what works with our tail as well. We're gonna clean this up a little bit because it's just sounding a little bit too rubbish. It's too busy at the moment. So does this help if we put our emphasis on the reverb over there? Let's check. It can work. Let's put everything to a buzz. But I think I'll rather get that offbeat reverb feeling. Maybe a little bit underneath the punch. Maybe we want to emphasize a little bit of that resonance, so we can boost it over here. And now we're gonna limit this kick and finish it up like this. And now that we limited this and looked through Edison what's wrong with it, you can really see that we still have too much room over here. So let's just try to fill that up a tiny bit, and then I think we're actually quite done with this. I think we can just fill this with low end. So if we maybe make this come up a little bit earlier. And now if we look at this through the EQ, it should probably be at least a little bit more of a brick. And that's what you want, because you don't want to lose that amount of gain over there for the total drive that this kick can give and the total loudness that this kick can give as well. So it's a little bit better. Let's just see if we can open this up a tiny bit more. Also, you don't need to look at kicks too much, but if you see your kick has a little bit too much of these hairs, that's probably because of the high end. So we're just gonna boost a little bit of the lows in here. And now this should have a little bit more of a rounded edge. See these hairs on top of the waveform for the tail are a little bit less present. And I think without this reverb we can still push it a little bit louder. So let's loop this, and I'm gonna keep the volume quite low, and this will just ensure that I don't put the tail too loud for the punch. And of course, even when we limit this, and this is limited quite loud, you're still gonna have some dips in the middle, just because this kick is working like this. At least this kick is working like it. You can make some Klaplong kicks that look like a brick all the way, that don't really have this crossover, but I think this sounds nice. It just, having this little room over here also just puts a little emphasis on the tail over here. So yeah, this is how we'll go about making a Klaplong kick. I hope you liked this and you learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Thank you for watching. Cheers!